Hello, everybody. My name is Trevor, and welcome back to the channel. So today is Christmas, not when we are recording this, but when you're seeing this, or whenever else you're watching this post-Christmas. But it's coming out on Christmas. So we are going to do our top 10 Christmas movies. And this is my dad. So he's here. You watched a lot of Christmas movies. You have a lot of Christmas movies.
Yeah.
You got me into Christmas movies, so
Yeah. I guess you could say it's my favorite genre of movie.
yeah. So this video is your fault.
Probably.
So we'll go top 10. We did not coordinate at all on rules, so we each probably set very different rules for our own lists. You said you cheated.
Oh, I cheated hard.
Okay. So I guess I'll let you go first with your number 10.
Okay. So, yeah, you know my love of Christmas movies, right? So this was an impossible list to make for me.
Mm-hmm.
But like we talked about, what was that, yesterday? There's a lot of sentimental reasons for me behind Christmas movies. So number 10, there's a tie, like right off the bat. I couldn't pick what would be 10 and what would not make it into the top 10.
Yeah.
And that's Polar Express and the Santa Claus.
Okay.
Polar Express, that's got a lot of similar reasons. That was a movie that me and your mom saw in the theater when it came out, and I actually bought her the Polar Express for that Christmas because it came out before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then when you and Clara were kids, that movie was constantly on in the van whenever we'd travel anywhere.
Yeah.
And all I remember now from the movie is the sound of the coins dropping and the clicker when he's clicking the tickets. And yeah, that's the big sentimental reasons on those. The Santa Claus, I couldn't leave it out. That's Tim Allen. And it's just was one of the, I love that movie. I can't help it. 2 and 3 kind of were drop offs, but the Santa Claus it's just a great Christmas movie with Tim Allen. So had to be in there.
Nice. Yeah, no, I know both you and Mom have talked about you know a lot of the audio of movies that we watched over and over again.
Yeah.
Like I know A Dolphin Tale is one.
Little Einstein's theme will be stuck in my head forever.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, I do. I could probably sing the theme. I'm not going to, but I could probably do it.
Yeah. All right. My number 10 is going to be Elf, which I assume is much higher up on your list. Yeah, I love Elf. Will Ferrell is really, really great. It's it was 2003, so it was very much in the era of early 2000 comedies where it was like him and Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, the frat pack. And yeah, it was just he does a great job with a very aloof character. Bob Newhart's really great in it. Like there's a lot of very fun, memorable moments, especially in New York City, especially since a lot of it was improv. Like the dude at the time where he like walks up to the guy on the street where he says, "Hey, it's Santa." That was just a random guy on the street that was wearing red and had a beard. And yeah, like where he keeps on taking the flyers, that was just people handing out flyers, and they put a camera and he took all their flyers.
Yeah, so by far my favorite Will Ferrell movie, and that might be blasphemy to some because Step Brothers and Talladega Nights is like top tier comedy to me.
Yeah,
but Elf far and away, like when he dives, I forgot his name, dives over him on his desk to pick up the phone and say, "Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?"
That's love that.
I mean, come on. And then he's eating the gum off the rails. I mean, that's disgusting, but it's funny.
Yeah.
And the whole date scene,
mm-hmm.
The whole date scene when he's like taking her to run around the revolving door,
the world's greatest cup of coffee,
the world's crappiest cup of coffee, the biggest Christmas. I mean, it's just classic. It's just so funny.
Yeah, I mean, and like just think about the performances that. So James Caan plays Dad. Zooey Deschanel plays I can't remember the love interest. Mary Steenburgen from Back to the Future.
I don't know who the guy is from the mailroom scene.
Oh yeah, that's
I got so many great ideas.
Yeah,
just nobody listens to me.
Just go with the flow. Yeah, no, it's really, really great. It's
should be much higher on your list. But
I know there's a couple of other.
Your mother's gonna be so upset.
I know there's a lot of good Christmas movies.
There is.
All right, so over to your number 9.
Okay, number 9, White Christmas.
Nice.
White Christmas. I know that's not necessarily everybody's top 10, but again, sentimental reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, one, I grew up with that movie. That's I mean, Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney, Vera Ellen. I always forget her name, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
I think so.
But that's the music and the dancing, and it was one of the dates. It might have been the night that I proposed to your mother. So that's gonna be a reason why it's going to be on my list. We went to the Orpheum Theater in Galesburg, and they were playing old Christmas movies at the time. So
so I could probably thank White Christmas for existing.
Maybe. Okay. Maybe. Then I don't know. You'd have to ask your mother.
No, I love White Christmas though. I will be talking about it though later. My number 9 is Scrooge from 1951. A Christmas, one of the many Christmas Carol
that hurts me in my soul.
I know
that low.
It made my top 10 at least. I know. But yeah, we watch a lot of Christmas Carol films. It's easily one of the best. I don't think it is the best one, but it's definitely very far up there. It's just great. It's also really short. Like it's a pretty easy watch. It's like an hour 15, hour 10. Which like the book's also really short. The book's only like 70 pages or something. Yeah. So yeah, it's a really faithful adaptation.
Great story.
It's maybe the most faithful adaptation.
Yeah. I think it's the best. Again, I'm terrible with actors' names, so I don't know where he gets that from, but the guy that plays Ebenezer Scrooge is by far and away the best Scrooge.
I would argue Michael Caine.
Regardless, really great movie.
It's a great movie. It's a really, really great movie. And yeah, no, you'll have a lot to say about that. Yeah, I will say, so there are so there's plenty of debate before we go any further about what makes a Christmas movie. We typically agree, so like you won't be seeing Die Hard on here as much as I would just like want to justify something like Catch Me If You Can or Little Women, movies that I love. You won't find them on there. Like Gremlins is like not that would make the top 10 anyways.
So I'm gonna get myself into trouble with this, right? So like, no, I don't count Die Hard as a Christmas movie. I don't blame anybody that does. That's your thing. It's just not mine. Christmas movies have to be joyful. They have to be fun and faithful and love and all the spirits of Christmas and family oriented. And to me, violence and terrorism and murder don't really constitute that. So it kind of takes that away from me. But as I already alluded to in a couple of movies, that sentimental value has a big part to play in Christmas movies, at least for me. So if Die Hard or Catch Me If You Can or Little Women is something that has sentimental value around Christmas for you, then it's a Christmas movie, and good for you and your family. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
So, and I love Die Hard. Yippee-ki-yay-ki-yo, Mother Falcon, if you know what I mean, with the TV adaptation. So, I mean, I love the movie. I just don't think it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty like that. Like, I mean, Lethal Weapon. I know people have found it as a Christmas movie, but
you even said Iron Man 3. And I don't.
Iron Man 3, Batman Returns is another one that people will say. It's without spoilers, people are calling Spider-Man No Way Home a Christmas movie because they wear Santa hats in a scene. So like, it's but yeah, your number 8, I think, is what we were on.
You didn't. Oh yeah, you did. Home Alone.
Oh, okay.
Is number 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember going to see that when I was, when did that movie come out? 90. So I would have been 10.
Perfect age.
Yeah, I would have been 10. So, and of course, everybody wanted it to be Kevin from Home Alone when they were 10 years old, because you get the house to yourself and you get to beat up burglars and make all kinds of cool traps. I remember making some stupid designs when I went home after watching the movie. I mean, how can you not love Home Alone? I mean, Joe Pesci and the other dude that gets the crap beat out of him by a 10-year-old. I mean, that's it's just so great. And I'm not big on repeats of great movies, but they kept doing it because they can make money at it. But the original Home Alone nailed it.
Yeah. Well, it's also like it's such a lightning in a bottle movie. Like we've now seen, I think, 5 or 6 other Home Alones, because there was the second one with Macaulay Culkin. Then there was the one where like Scarlett Johansson made her film debut with like the toy car with the chip in it.
That was her film debut?
I think so.
Really?
There was maybe one thing before that. I think she was maybe in like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake or something like that. But yeah, that was very early Scarlett Johansson.
I own all of except for that last one that Disney Plus put out.
Well, there was one in between that. There was
really bad
because there was Home Alone 5 also with the same actor from.
I knew there was at least 3. Home Alone 2 is not bad.
No, it is
in New York, but after that it gets really bad really quick.
Yeah, especially this new one. I think it's easily.
But that doesn't take away that Home Alone is a great Christmas movie.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's such a lightning in a bottle thing, considering how many times they've tried, and one of them has been great. So it's a really, really special movie. Number 8 for me is White Christmas. That and Sound of Music like kind of started my love for musicals, and that's now one of my favorite genres of film. But it was those two, and Sound of Music, like, well, not a Christmas movie. I think we watched it for the first time around Christmas when it was on TV.
Probably right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that and Wizard of Oz. And yeah, like they're 2 really great musicals. And
I mean, Bing Crosby singing White Christmas, that wasn't the first time that he sang White Christmas. I know that. It was Holiday Inn. Yeah. I get it. And Holiday Inn's a good movie in itself. It's not on my list, but it's a good movie in itself. But I mean, Bing Crosby singing White Christmas is just that's wonderful. That's Christmas. That's what Christmas should sound like.
Okay. Is it the best Christmas song? Like Bing Crosby's, specifically Bing Crosby's White Christmas.
So I love the crooners. So I own the Rat Pack Christmas album because I love the crooner sound. Of the way they sing Christmas songs. Yeah, that's right up there though. I mean that song too in itself screams Christmas, and when they play it right at the beginning, within the war scene, and I mean that's with the little music box. I mean that's just a cool scene.
It was also just like the peak of like, because I think that was 1954. It was mid to early 50s, and that was like the peak of like Hollywood musicals. Because I think it was the year after that we got Singing in the Rain, and like Sound of Music was 10 years later. West Side Story was I think 6 or 7 years later. Like it was at like the height of musicals, and it's just like it's one of the great classic musicals.
Yeah, love it.
All right, number 7.
Okay, another cheat. So all of the made-for-TV animation movies. So Rudolph, the Grinch, the 67 Grinch, and Frosty. Like that's my childhood, man. That's
What about,
that was CBS, I think, who played them almost on like repeat, and that's
Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
I could add all of those, right? 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, The Year Without Santa, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I could add all of those, but the main 3 to me would be Rudolph, Frosty, and the 67 Grinch animated. So and they're all great. I love them. I remember Clara watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for the entire year, basically on repeat. So I won't forget that. So I mean, obviously they have sentimental value to me.
It was like, I remember like it was pretty consistently at least once a week for the like. There was times it was every day.
Then she found the offshoots, like was it Rudolph in July or something?
Rudolph, because that was a crossover with Frosty the Snowman. He was there too.
Oh.
And then there was Rudolph's Shiny New Year.
That one. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no, there definitely was a July one where Rudolph had to save Frosty from melting. I think it was at a carnival.
I think it's Christmas in July, and I don't think that. I don't know. I'd have to. It's not a great one, so I don't really remember that.
But no, definitely I would say like the most iconic 3 are Rudolph, Frosty, and the Grinch.
Yeah.
It's interesting though that like out of those 3, the Grinch has gotten like now 2 adaptations, and Frosty and Rudolph hasn't really had. Like, I'm surprised we haven't gotten like, I mean, you couldn't really do live action with those, but I'm surprised we haven't gotten an animated, another animated Rudolph and Frosty.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe they've learned from the Grinch because the remakes haven't been as good as the original, and why mess with the classic, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe somebody will get a burr up the rear and make one.
It's money.
Sometime eventually.
It's
you
money.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like, they're so perfect as like 30, they're like 30 minutes or so. Like,
they're about 40, 45 minutes or so. Yeah.
Like, they work so well contained. I don't think. I mean, we saw like with Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which I think is just awful. I mean, I think it's one of the few Christmas movies to actually get an Oscar nomination, though. It was for makeup and hair, which I think is kind of deserved for the Grinch.
I don't think it's awful. I mean, it's not great, but I don't think it's. I mean, I'll watch it. But
yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, I didn't hate the 2018 Grinch. Like, I really liked Benedict Cumberbatch's voice of the Grinch. I thought that he was a pretty decent voice, but like, still, like, it shouldn't be stretched out. Like, the runtime was nearly doubled of the animated special, and like, it's just they're meant to be very, very contained. But yeah, who knows if we'll get like another Rudolph or Frosty. I don't think that would be a great idea, but
you never know.
Who knows? But yeah. I didn't put any of the animated specials on here. I stuck with feature films, but I did throw in here an honorable mention for A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Honorable mention.
Well, again, I tried to stick to only like feature length films. So I put it on my honorable mentions because I think that's the best of all of the animated like shorts around Christmas.
So I'm just gonna jump ahead because that's my number 6 anyways. So,
okay. Yeah.
We
can go and talk about Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Charlie, I mean, when Linus gets up there and is like, I know what Christmas is, Charlie Brown, and goes through the whole speech, and then they're like, oh, it's not such a bad tree, Charlie Brown, and they somehow magically make it into a Christmas tree. I mean, again, that's childhood for me. That's, it's just one of those that when it's Christmas, you got to throw in.
Yeah. Like, I also just think it's like it has some of the best music in a Christmas like film. Like, there's some really iconic songs
Schroeder
from that.
Yeah, I mean, Schroeder's a great musician.
Oh no, he's amazing. So, one of the best of our time.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. All right. I'll go ahead and jump into my 7 and 6. My number 7 is Arthur Christmas, which I think is drastically underrated.
I'll give you that.
It's a really, really just great, fun movie. I think that was the first Christmas movie I saw in theaters. It's 2012, so I would have been like 7. And yeah, it's a really fun movie. It has a lot of heart. It's also just like it dives into Santa lore in a fun way that I haven't really seen before, as far as it being passed on. Like, Santa isn't immortal, and it being passed on from generation to generation. And they got the big spaceship thing, the massive army of elves. Like, it's really fun. It's really fun. Speaking of like other animated, I just thought of it when I thought of elves. Is the Naughty and Nice, that like with the elves.
Prep and Landing.
Yeah. Those are another. I think those are Disney that does them.
I think so.
Just more fun animated shorts.
Yeah,
but
I'd agree with you. Arthur Christmas is, I would say, very underrated. I mean, it's not my top 10, but absolutely close. So, it's a fun one. It's a fun one with the. I don't think he's a drunken reindeer, but I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is. I mean, just the 3 reindeer, you and you.
Yeah.
3 pieces of sticky tape. Like, it's a really sweet, fun movie, and it's just I love Santa lore.
Yeah,
Santa lore is pretty fun.
Yeah. All
right, I'll go into my number 6, which is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
It's just great. I mean, it's probably it might be the funniest Christmas film. So like, I do have a comedy on here that is higher, but like, I would put it I would put it as far as comedic value, higher than what is above it.
It's my number 5, so you might as well just keep going for your number 5. I love Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
it's Chevy Chase and Cousin Eddie. You know, I mean,
have you seen the sequel, Christmas Vacation 2, Cousin Eddie's Island?
Yeah, I've seen it. I just stick with the original.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say about that one.
Yeah,
stick to the original. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about Christmas Vacation. That's just hilarious.
Yeah, his speech, his boss.
At the end.
At the end, is pretty amazing. Just the slew of insults.
It actually looks like Chevy Chase might actually have a stroke when he's railing off on that, and it's so good. It's so good, and the fact that when he's going off to the family about it, and then Cousin Eddie sneaks out and goes and kidnaps him.
Yeah,
and they miraculously get a SWAT team to the to the house to just destroy the house.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just. I think some of the Christmas lights is good.
Yeah,
and you know, one day the house. But some of the best parts are with Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah,
when the back and forth between Chevy Chase and Julie Louis-Dreyfus when they just vehemently hate each other as neighbors, and the ice that slings through the window and breaks the radio.
Yeah,
and well, how did it break, Margot? I don't know, Todd. I mean, that's I mean,
why is the carpet wet?
So good.
Yeah, no, love Christmas Vacation. So that was your number 5. So I'll go on to my number 5, which is probably the most recent movie on this list, and that would be Happiest Season. It came out. I think this is the only one on my list that you haven't seen.
I haven't seen that one. No.
Came out on Hulu last year. It stars Kristen Stewart, also in the Christmas cinematic universe of Mary Steenburgen playing a mom, joins Elf. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's one of the more like heartfelt Christmas movies. It's about Kristen Stewart is going back with her girlfriend's house to Christmas. But her girlfriend, and she's gonna like propose to her, but her girlfriend hasn't come out to her parents, and her dad is running for mayor of Pittsburgh at the time. And she can't really, do that at the time. Her parents like don't know, and they're, pretty sure he's running as a conservative against that. And it's Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek is also in it as Kristen Stewart's friend. He's very, very funny. And yeah, it's a really, really fun movie. That's like probably one of the best Christmas movies in like the past 10 years.
Sounds a lot like The Birdcage.
Okay. I haven't seen The Birdcage.
Yeah, old Robin Williams movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm telling you, I'm bad at names. I forgot who his significant other is in there. He's a famous actor, and I can't think of his name. Whatever, but their son is getting engaged to a girl that her father, who is Gene Hackman, is a big conservative politician, and they're all worried about how he's going to take, because not only is Robin Williams' character gay, and the guy's dad has 2 dads, but they also run a like a drag show, and a drag bar in Miami. So they're thinking, oh, he's going to hate this because it's going to be completely against all his conservative, politician, whatever. But that sounds very similar.
So it's like that, but Christmas. But yeah, no, I've heard The Birdcage for a while and heard like a lot of amazing things about it.
It's funny.
I'll probably have to go back and watch it. But yeah, Happy Season. It's very, very good. All right. Number 4.
I'm at 4.
Yeah.
Elf.
Okay.
And we kind of already hit on Elf a lot, but I mean,
it's wonderful.
I love it.
I will say, like maybe the best scene, and we haven't talked about it, is Jon Favreau at the doctor and the cotton balls.
Cotton balls, and he's holds still. Something that's not talked about in Elf as much that is a dilemma that I've had ever since it's come out.
Yeah.
His journey to and from the North Pole to New York.
Yeah.
Seems to take a day.
Yeah, no, it's pretty fast.
Like it gets, and how have we not found the candy cane forest on any satellite? Like, how is this just not a thing?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. The journey to and from the North Pole needs to be discussed more.
Like, yeah, so they were going to make Elf 2, I think. Like, I think Will Ferrell was offered like $30 million to do it, and he was like, no.
Thank God.
Just want to leave it with the original.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
That was smart.
Yeah. But no, with that cotton ball scene, like, I think it's my favorite line in the movie, where he says, I'm a human raised by elves, and the girl goes, I'm a human raised by humans.
Oh, me.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we've already talked about Elf, but yeah, it's great.
It's a good one.
Number 4, I have Home Alone.
Okay.
Which we've also talked about. I think we watched the first 2. It was on, I think, New Year's Eve. Like, I was maybe like 6 or 7, and I remember we got like a air bed, like a inflatable bed, and Claire and I we like sat on it and watched the first 2 Home Alones, and that's one of my memories of like laughing so hard.
We've talked about Home Alone a lot, so let me ask you this: after watching Home Alone, what is the one thing that you want to do after watching Home Alone? Like, for me, when I watched it, the one thing I wanted to do when I went home was get a sled, go to the top of the stairs, and slide down the stairs out the door if I could figure it out.
Yeah.
Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
But that was like top of my list.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably successfully execute one of the traps.
Like which one?
Just any of them. I mean, like the lighting someone's head on fire, pretty far up there. Like that'd be pretty fun to pull off. Like, also, like, Kevin has a future as an engineer.
Yeah.
Like, he would be a phenomenal engineer.
Well, in the Disney Plus one, they say he is a home security guy. Like, he invents home security systems, which, I mean, come on, that's a gimme.
Yeah.
So I guess my number 2 one would have been trying to trick a pizza delivery guy into leaving a pizza for free and watching him run away scared.
Okay, so, actually, I take that back. I wanted like something with that movie doing, because they do a similar. I honestly think the better execution of like the trick with the movie Angels with Filthy Souls, I think, is done in Home Alone 2, where it's at the hotel, and they think that there's an armed shooter in the building, which in hindsight in the present day is actually like a terrible thing to do to people.
Well, that wouldn't go over. Like, it didn't go over then. It would really not go over now.
Yeah. But it's it wouldn't be a great thing to put people through that, but like it's very, very funny. All right. Number 3 for you.
Number 3. So I already know where this falls for you, but It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. All right.
So I understand. It's a great movie. It's one of the best movies of all time. I love it. I've got nothing negative, obviously, to say about it. It's a great holiday movie. It should be watched every year by everyone, in my opinion. Yeah. It's Jimmy Stewart, and I mean, come on, Clarence Angel. Every angel gets wings whenever a bell rings. I mean, there's so many great lines. There's such a great story. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's fantastic. Should be watched every year.
Yeah. I will. I'll touch on it later. Number 1. If any of you have seen my Letterboxd account, you know where this is. Number 3 for me is Miracle on 34th Street. It's just a great movie.
So it's my number 2. So
okay,
just keep going.
We can roll into it. Yeah. Susan, I think is the girl. I don't know. I knew it kind of blew my mind because she's Maria in the original West Side Story. Which, you know, that some not great things to make her Puerto Rican in that. such as pouring oil on her. But beside the point.
Think of the time for me.
Yeah.
Not to make excuses, but
Yeah. But yeah, she's also Russian, which is kind of weird. But anyway, she's really, really good in this. This was her breakthrough role as like a 6-year-old. This is one of the few Christmas movies to get a Best Picture nomination, alongside, I believe, It's a Wonderful Life is the only other one to get a Best Picture nomination. I think there was if you count Little Women, that got a Best Picture nomination, but that's only if you count Little Women. But yeah, so technically it would just be It's a Wonderful Life and Miracle on 34th Street. And yeah, it's a really delightful movie. Like, it's maybe one of my favorite portrayals of Santa Claus, and I believe I can't remember his name, but he got nominated for Best Actor, I believe.
Yeah, I can't say his name, but
probably my favorite scene in the film though is when he like sings to the girl in Dutch. It's really, really great because like that's Santa was real. Like that's
like I love the movie. I mean, it's Santa Claus actually comes to town to try to help a girl believe in him and actually not take life so seriously. And along the way, obviously there's a bunch of other things that happen, but then I love the court scenes and the end, how they determine that he's actually the real Santa Claus.
The letters.
They bring in all of the U.S. mail. If the U.S. Postal Service says it's true, then it's and they dump. I want it right here. Place it right here, and they just dump all those bags of mail on top of the judge, who was actually Bob Cratchit in the 1938 Christmas Carol movie.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. So there's so many great things, but again, it's just another one of those you gotta watch around Christmas time.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And not the new ones, the old one, one, the 40. What is it? 47, 48,
47,
47.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy that like we got It's a Wonderful Life and that back to back, in back to back years. Pretty great time for Christmas movies. But yeah, no, it's just wonderful. Like, pun intended. And like, yeah, I mean, I love courtroom drama films, and I love how this kind of turns into that. Like, I love trial scenes in film. Like, My Cousin Vinny is like unironically just one of my favorite movies. It's great. But yeah, I love Santa Laura, and I love how this dives into the legality of Santa. And him presenting himself as real. It's really, really fun. My number 2, one of my favorite movies ever, is The Muppet Christmas Carol. I think this is the best version of Christmas Carol, which I know that you will disagree. But I absolutely love it. I said it earlier. I think Michael Caine is the best Scrooge. I think that he's just amazing. I also just love the Muppets. Like, it's one of my favorite film franchises. I mean, just like, yeah, I mean, just all of them. It's just like, it feels like a family of characters that you could just like hang out with for forever. And it's really great. Also, the best Christmas musical. Like, it's good. There's some great songs in there.
It's good.
I mean, when love was found, it's just like a phenomenal song. I also just love like the visual look of the movie, like the production design, how they built out all the city. Because all of it was done, I believe it was all done on a soundstage. Like, they just built that all from the ground up. And it looks just so like homey and Christmassy. Like, it's really, really great.
I love it. It's a good one.
All right.
You might as well finish off.
Okay.
We already know what your number 1 is. So.
Yeah. Okay. So my number 1 Christmas movie, and also just my favorite film of all time, is It's a Wonderful Life. I think it is a perfect film. Frank Capra is one of my favorite directors. I mean, yeah, It Happened One Night, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Like, he's just done some phenomenal movies. And I love how he views the world, and like, this is a film that like, it takes itself very seriously. Like, it's it's a very serious film, and James Stewart is absolutely amazing.
Jimmy Stewart is an icon.
Yeah.
He is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think this was his first movie back after serving in World War II.
Couldn't tell you.
I believe, because he was 46, so I like the time makes sense. I don't know if he did one before it, but it was one of his first movies back after World War II.
Yeah.
And he crushes it. Like, he just absolutely crushes the role. I mean, Donna Reed is great. I mean, also Lionel Barrymore, I believe, plays Mr. Potter. And he's amazing. I mean, completely transforming Bedford Falls into Pottersville.
The entire cast is just great. It's like there's not a weak point.
No, there really isn't.
So I mean, everything's just perfectly fits, and it's just such a great story. And yeah,
like you could watch this at any time during the year.
Sure.
Like, I mean, it doesn't.
It walks the line. Christmas movie.
Well, yeah, that's fair. But like, it walks the line of like, it's like just Christmassy enough to feel like a Christmas movie. Like it ends on Christmas Day, and like it has like, you know, the uplifting feel of a Christmas movie. But like the rest of the movie really has nothing to do with Christmas, and it's just about, I mean, for the most part,
it's those Christmas spirits and feelings like I was talking about earlier that lead its way into it. And you know, having the angel sent down, his guardian angel, if he gets his wings, he's trying to earn his wings, you know. I mean, to have him come down and, you know, really show him what the world would be without him, and where people would be, and what his value in life is, and what is actually value in life. So yeah, it's great. And I mean, come on, we went and saw that in the drive-in. What was that, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, 2019. And that's honestly what solidified it as my favorite film of all time. Like, seeing it on a big screen in a drive-in, which is probably how most people saw it for the first time in 1946. In the drive-in theater. Maybe that would have been a little bit too early for that, but like, it's just a beautiful movie. Like, it's also one of the first great movies to like tackle mental health, and just how a person, you know, perceives themselves in the world. Like, I mean, it was a mainstream movie that like tackled psychology in an interesting way, and that just really wasn't being done at the time, save for like somebody like Alfred Hitchcock. I mean, and even with the Best Picture nomination, like, it did terribly. Like, critics weren't that big of fans of it. Like, I know it like did terrible at the box office. I think like one of the few reasons it was big at the Oscars was because they invented fake snow for It's a Wonderful Life, and they invented snow machines.
That's crazy to think about, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy how it was rediscovered though, because like the studio Liberty, I believe Liberty Films, they didn't care about the movie so much that they just let the copyright go. Because they just saw it as worthless. So after the 30 years, so it had been 19.
It's crazy how things work out like that.
I know, yeah. So it was like 1976, and it went up. And then during Christmas, just like at that point, there were like, you know, 3 channels, like ABC, NBC, CBS. And they were all looking for something to put on TV around Christmas that was free. And they put on It's a Wonderful Life, and it caught on, and people found the movie again. And then now it's perceived like, I mean, it's on like AFI's list of like the top 100 greatest films of all time. Like, it's like pretty consistently in like, you know, the general critical consensus of like top 15, top 20 of all time. Like, it's crazy how it came back around into
great movie
mainstream. And yeah, I absolutely love this movie.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, your number one. Number ones.
Yeah, well, it's a theme, right? So my favorite thing on Christmas is Christmas Eve night, I watch A Christmas Carol. Yeah, it's what I've done since I was a kid,
right?
And it's usually the 1951 version, which I think is by far the best version.
Yeah,
I know you like the Muppets. I love the Muppets too. But, you know, sometimes it was the 1938 version. It's a very good one, too. But, you know, so I made a blanket Christmas Carol statement. But the the top 4 of those are the 1951 version, which is also called Scrooge,
Mm-hmm.
The 1938 Christmas Carol, which I don't think it was the very first one, but it might have been the very first theatrical one.
I think it was the first. I think it was the first to be released in theaters in the US because it was UK produced, but there had been like other UK versions before. But I think it was the first to be theatrically released in the US, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And then obviously the Muppets one is right up there. And then one that I find hilarious is Bill Murray's Scrooged.
Yep.
Those 4, I got to watch around Christmas. I mean, when they even make a movie about Charles Dickens, the man who invented Christmas, because of the story, The Christmas Carol. I mean, come on, how can it be number 1? I mean, it is a tradition. It is everything that Christmas is supposed to be about. It's probably, if not the greatest, one of the greatest stories of all time.
Yeah.
And it's Christmas.
Yeah.
So I mean, all of those 4 do a great job with the story. I know the Jim Carrey Disney Chris animated one.
Same director as Polar Express.
I don't mind that one. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think it's actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
A version of it. I just don't necessarily care for Jim Carrey all that much, but it's still good. I think, anyways. And I know there's many other versions of it. I know Patrick Stewart did one, which I didn't think was all that great. And then I know there's another one, and there's all kinds of adaptations. But for me, 1951 version, top, and then the 38, the Muppets, and Scrooged. If you haven't seen Scrooged, do yourself a favor. If you watch no other Christmas Carol movie and you just want to have fun with the movie, watch Scrooged and laugh. And I'm sorry if this spoils anything for you, but when the ghost of Christmas Present, and I forgot her name, nails him with a toaster and kicks him in the groin, and all of the Three Stooges bits that you can think of, and one, it just doesn't get any better. It's so funny. It's some of the best physical comedy. Yeah, it's just so good.
It ended up like 11 or 12 for me. Like it was just outside for me. But with the Christmas Carol, especially like the 51 and 38 versions, which are probably the most faithful adaptations. I mean, Scrooged is obviously the least faithful. But like similar to It's a Wonderful Life, they have really interesting social commentary for their time. Just about like the oppression of like, the people that like Scrooge was just ignoring. And how he, eventually came around to giving back. Which wasn't like, again, it works in ideas and themes that like elevate it above any other kind of Christmas film. Because while like Christmas movies are fun, like bringing like just something to think about, so I think elevates it even above all the rest. But yeah, so those are our list.
Can I give my guilty pleasure? You gave a guilty pleasure?
Yeah.
Or what did you say? Charlie Brown
was just outside. Yeah.
Yeah. So guilty pleasure, which definitely would not make a top 10 list because it's really cheesy and really bad.
Yeah.
But it's another one of those things that I just grew up watching, and it's Laurel and Hardy, 1934, March of the Wooden Soldiers.
Yeah.
I really don't have any other explanation. It's really cheesy and corny and bad. There's some good songs in it. Some people I don't know what their names are that can really sing. Laurel and Hardy do their Laurel and Hardy bits.
Yeah.
But it's Babes in Toyland. It's the when they do the March of the Wooden Soldier battle with the boogeyman. It brings me happiness every time I see that battle for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But that's something that me and your uncle, we watched all the time when we were kids around Christmas because it's just one of those movies. And now you watch it and like the boogeyman costumes are so awful and it's just it's not great.
Yeah.
But but the scenery of Toyland.
Yeah, it's a really impressive production design. Like that's I'm telling you, like older films, like pre 50s, pre 40s, like they have some really great production design because they couldn't do anything digitally. Yeah. Like they just had to build, like they had to build everything.
So there's something about bringing all the fairy tale characters out. Something about when I was a kid, they always say, "Oh, the boogeyman's going to get you." They actually see the boogeyman on the screen.
Yeah.
And then it's just fun. It's cheesy. It's corny. It's bad, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my guilty pleasure. So
have you seen the movie Stan and Ollie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you'd seen it, but it's a pretty good biopic about Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But that is it. Those are our top 10 lists. They will be somewhere on the screen over which way? That way. Yeah.
That way.
Some of the ways. It's going to be somewhere on the screen, all of our lists. So we won't.
That way.
They're imprinted onto you.
Oh, that's kind of like the Scrooge thing coming through.
Oh yeah. But yeah, our list will be somewhere on the screen. So you can look at them. But those were our Christmas lists. Maybe you'll be on for some other things if I can convince you to do more. Christmas or otherwise. Yeah. If I can talk you into it, you might do
should
some
we
stuff.
Throw in the Nutcracker too? Because the ballet with your sister and everything like that. You know what I mean?
The Macaulay Culkin did the one with the New York Ballet.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and Macaulay Culkin played the Nutcracker.
We own that.
We do. We have that on DVD.
Yeah, I buy a lot of Christmas
movies.
Do.
Yeah. I've started my own collection. I have It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, and White Christmas.
Just don't steal any of mine.
I know. I haven't. That's why I'm buying them all myself.
Yeah. Because you can't stream them anywhere anymore, right?
Some of them you can, but those are our lists. Put your list in the comments down below. I'd love to see it. And tell you you're wrong. I'm just kidding.
Put Die Hard in there if you want.
Yeah. Just somebody puts all of the ones. What?
Should we say it? A movie that I guarantee you is on a lot of people's top 10 that neither one of us had.
Yeah.
Because I despise it.
Yeah. Is A Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story is so bad. So bad.
Gonna
prove me wrong. It's awful. Worst Christmas movie. Awful. Bad.
Can't wait for the comments on that one.
Don't care what you say. It's horrible.
I have not seen it because you've never shown it.
You can watch it when I'm gone.
But yeah, that one was not on either of our lists because you hate it. But yeah, I'm curious to see all of your guys' lists.
It's not even my top 50.
Are there even like 50 Christmas movies that you've seen?
I'll come up with 50.
Okay. You'll throw in Die Hard just to get 50.
Pretty much.
But yeah. Until next time, though. Hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas if you celebrate, or just a happy December 25th if the days are relevant to you.
Happy holidays.
And until the next time, stay safe, everybody, and goodbye.